when you look at the program itself, there are enough bits allocated where you can actually prove without a shadow of a doubt that humans are actually on the hit list. So you have got 33 bits would account for every human being to be given an electronic product code that is unique to you. So you can be tracked in real time and matched to algorithms and other programs that basically IBM is developing. But further than that, the agenda is to actually make dust particles electronically aware through nanotech. So what we're talking about, forget about Wi-Fi, we're talking about a web grid where every single object is basically communicating, but the ultimate one to get into the network is yourself, which is the human being. So moving this forward, the other agenda that's driving this is the transhumanist. Now, the transhumanist is basically, when you look at it, it stems from, the first mention of it was from the Huxley family, and we all know what a great bunch of eugenists they were. Human Plus is a group of individuals that basically will embrace technology to actually further their goals as a human being. So whether you're taking a chip or an arm that's made out of graphite, where they want to transcend what's actually considered human to become post-human gods. And there's another agenda within it called Strong AI, which is the building of artificial intelligence within a machine that can actually achieve consciousness, where man can then actually pass the baton to the machine, and then the machine from there on goes and develops all products, all ideas and all inventions, where man basically says to the machine, look, we're happy with your invention, let's move on. So a better way of summing it up is when you have people like Max Moore, the philosopher, who's gone on record to say the body's not sacred, it's a pure random accident, and genetic engineering is the most moral thing we can do. That's eugenics. There's no two ways about it. Then I'm in the land of Kevin Warwick. He actually comes from your country, so he has gone on to record to say that cyborgs will be able to outthink the subspecies, which is you guys in this room, and we need to have a right for robots in this world. So, I mean, we can't feed the world. We have people starving and dying. People can barely put food on the table, and this guy wants to have rights for robots. Now, anyway, Professor Hugo de Harris is a more balanced gentleman. He's the guy behind Building Gods, which is it's a more balanced approach to transhumanism. Excuse me. He's actually gone on record to say that this is the camp that actually developed the atomic bomb, and we all know when the atomic bomb was actually being detonated, they were taking bets on whether they were going to blow up the world or set the ionosphere on fire. So nothing has changed. This is the same stable that just wants to push technology for no other reason than to tick the box and to say, look, you know, I've completed my my 2-year contract, and I'll continue to get funding from whether it's the military-industrial complex or from elite families or banking interests. And then don't forget Stephen Hawking, one of the smartest men on the face of this earth. He's got an IQ of 160. He's working quantum graphics in relation to black holes. I mean, I'm just Greg Nikolettos. How can I argue with a man who's got an IQ of 160? But my belief system is that just because he says DNA organisms will eventually evolve into machines, just because a man has an IQ of 160 does not mean he has a shred of wisdom. So now, to the average populace out there and the lay person, we need to understand that these people are viewed as giants as well. So the predictive programming, the pacing and the leading of the population, the familiarisation this is a slick, crafted marketing machine. And when you have a gentleman who's got, you know, a brief history of time spending over 200 weeks on the bestseller list, you know, what's a kid in university going to say, look, I disagree with Einstein? The point is, what needs to happen is And this is also based on Darwin's theory of evolution. So we need to understand that the way this is viewed is that we are expendable. And you're not viewed as an actual flesh and blood spirit being. You're actually viewed as a stepping stone to a machine. And this is basically dehumanizing at its highest core. Now, the chipping cyborg agenda in media. The Galaxy Rangers. Captain Zachary Fox has got a brain chip. He can fight the enemy, obviously, so much with so much greater skill. The brain chip within the Stepford Wives creates the hive mind, and the hive mind is obviously the conformity to the husband and what he wants. So, you know, by promoting the brain chip, we can obviously have a perfect society. The Matrix is an interesting one. Even though Neo is an actual, he fights the Matrix system, he actually utilises brain uploads to actually fight the system. So he is actually a program within the system itself, if you actually want to analyse it to that level. Just quickly, Demolition Man, all the citizens are chipped. Johnny Mnemonic has got a brain chip, existence chipping, and the latest one from Bruce Willis, which is the brain upload, where one actually uploads their consciousness into a mainframe and then lives this virtual life. So, you know, Greg Nikolettos is a bit bored of, you know, living my life as it is. I'll upload myself as a red-crested parakeet and just investigate that avenue. So, look, from a logical perspective, it's total insanity, but this is an agenda to actually bring the microchipping agenda to you. So it's about the very chip, it's about the brain chip. So all these things might never actually occur, but it is part of a slick marketing campaign for you to actually accept that the progressive stage, or the next progressive stage for man to evolve, is to embrace technology. We didn't have to go to war in Iraq because Cartman actually defeated Saddam Hussein with a V-chip in 1999. The V-chip basically allowed Saddam Hussein to actually be defeated, and it's quite funny that it was actually called the V-chip. So, you know, sounds like very chip, doesn't it? And then you have the humanisation of robots, which is there's a case of they're humanising the robots and then they're taking humans and basically robotising them. So it is a push-pull technique to familiarise yourself with it and to say, you know, maybe Bumblebee can cry. Jetfire shows old age and uses a walking cane, and Mudflap and Skids within the Transformers is basically, you know, black social rapper stereotypes, and they can't even read and write. So the robots are becoming humans, the humans are becoming robots, and actually the Daft Punk one's an interesting one where you've got, you know, robots in a pyramid, so for all those with the symbology side of things, and it's as blatant as the nose on your face. Now, the predictive programming gets very intense, and the Toronto Star actually wrote a great article from their perspective anyway, but I'll just read the few lines. By the time my 4-year-old son is swathed in the soft flesh of old age, he'll find it unremarkable that he and almost everyone he knows will be permanently implanted with a microchip. And, you know, to a group like you, this sounds ridiculous. To the rest of the population, this just sounds as the next logical step. It just sounds, you know, this is coming from the Toronto Star. This is something that could and possibly will happen.